There's a big opportunity that I see a lot of retirees miss, and it's not some secret investment strategy or hidden tax loophole. It's a window of time that I call the Golden Runway. For some people, this can last 10 to 15 years or more, but no matter how long it is, this period is one of the most powerful planning windows in your entire retirement. This is not something you want to overlook because once it closes, you don't get a do-over. It's toothpaste out of the tube. You can't put it back in. So, we really have to think about this time period in two separate, distinct phases. The first phase generally starts when you retire, and maybe that's the year after you retire. That way, you don't have that income coming in, but before Social Security begins. This is often when your taxable income is at its lowest and you have the most flexibility to do things like Roth conversions or capital gain harvesting. And then, once Social Security starts, you're in that second phase of the runway. You still have some flexibility, just not as much because of how Social Security is taxed. And then once RMDs kick in, the IRS starts forcing you to take this taxable income. And at that point, you just don't have the same level of control. Now, I could really drag this video out, and we could talk about lots of examples and scenarios and Roth conversions and capital gains, harvesting, so on and so forth. But ultimately, this period is all about just planning and managing your taxes for the rest of your retirement. Because I can't tell you how many times I've talked to someone who's already at the age where they're taking RMDs, and they've said, "Dang it, Devin, I wish I would have paid more attention to this during that time period." And you know what? Here's the thing, I get it. In those early years of retirement, you're finally free. You're traveling. You're spending time with family that you haven't been able to in a long time. There's just lots of things on the bucket list that you're checking off. These are things you've waited for years to be able to enjoy. So the last thing a lot of people want to do is to crack open a tax planning spreadsheet. And for that reason, this window does often slip by. It's not being lazy, it's just life. But the good news is that making the most of your golden runway doesn't require some Herculean effort. It's not going to be a second job, I promise. It's not going to derail your fund, ruin your freedom, but it is something you should pay attention to because you don't want to be sitting there when you're 75 and now you've got higher taxes, fewer options, and a sinking feeling in your gut thinking, why didn't I take advantage of that time while I had it? So, this is your chance to set the foundation for the next 20 or 30 years of your retirement on your terms while the decisions are still yours to make. So, here's what I'd say. If you're in or approaching this window, you've got two paths forward. You can get comfortable with a retirement planning tool like Balden or another advanced software that goes beyond just the basics. We're not talking about something that just gives you a pie chart and a smiley face here, but something that lets you test real strategies like Roth conversions, capital gain harvesting, bracket planning, and Social Security timing because that's where those real opportunities live in this golden window. Or if digging into software isn't your thing, hire a financial planner who actually cares about your plan. Someone who sees planning as the point, right? Not just bait to get your money under management. This is way too important to hand off to someone doing what I like to refer to as planning light. And look, here's the thing. That planner doesn't have to be me or my firm. But if you're curious about what it would look like for us to work together, or you just want to make sure you're not missing your own golden runway, there's a link down below where you can find out more and even set up a meeting with me directly. Thanks so much for watching.